Okay, so welcome back. If any of you know me personally or um, have watched my videos, kind of know a little bit about me. I am 54, um, almost a senior citizen. To my high school friends, my elementary friends, yeah, we are. But when you come into those times of your life, it's very similar. My mom always used to say you go through these puberties through your life. You have your period, if you're a man, I really don't know what men go through. But anyway, but you go through these emotional growths, so to speak. Typically for a woman, you have puberty, then you hit, 18, 21, you know everything. And then you hit about between 27 and 31, your whole thought process changes. What you want, what you desire, everything changes. And then you go through another one when you are approaching midlife. Physically, you also have those changes as well. Those changes, those physical changes I thought were going to be okay for me, but have been really, really, really hard aside from emotionally. But one of the things that I've always struggled with is my stomach. My digestion. They've never been able to figure it out up until recently. So about the age of 23, I started having just severe stomach pains. I went through a bout of anorexia and thought that may have been something to do with it, but no doctor had ever been able to um, diagnose it. So I do have a couple of diagnoses, and so I've really changed the way that I've eaten. We don't eat fast food. If we do, it is a rarity. We don't eat out. I cook everything. I cook everything from scratch. Um, Occasionally, I'll get a loaf of bread, a loaf of sourdough from the store, but for the most part, I make everything. Um, and so, one of the things that I love, that my husband loves, that I had no idea had so much to do with your digestion was fermented food. I'm still doing research on it, still don't know a whole lot about it, but I am going to make our own sauerkraut. Now, we're coming into spring, and that means that St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. And I always do a cabbage and corned beef and, those traditions, but we always have sauerkraut dogs, and things like that. And so, because my husband and I do eat a lot of it, I thought, well, why don't I try and make my own? So, this is going to be my attempt. It's going to take about a week. You do need to between a week and 2 weeks for your sauerkraut to ferment. It's going to sit on the counter and just kind of do its magic. And it's very simple. Really, all it is a head of cabbage and salt, and that's it. So we're going to try that and see how it turns out. All right, there's your cabbage. We are in February. We're just starting February. Super Bowl is next weekend. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. Probably not. But my cabbage I've used up for the season, and so I had to get store-bought cabbage. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take off all your exterior leaves. Those will go to the chickens. And get all of those outside leaves off. The first layer is fine. Okay, that's good. And basically all you're going to do is just shred it. You can use your food processor if you want, but I love improving my knife skills, or lack thereof. Scoot this over. And you can cut this to however size you want. If you like them pretty fine, definitely make a smaller chop. If you like them chunkier, you can do it in a chunkier. Oop, I'm not doing very well. In a chunkier chop. and then your core go to the chickens. And so I'm just going to do really just a rough chop. And you're going to put this in a bowl. Open that all up. Get those core pieces all opened up. Take a couple of these. Now, I don't know if my kids like cabbage or not. I don't think so. Because typically the way that I make it is, aside from myself, like I'll do fried cabbage or roasted cabbage, but my kids usually are not fans of it. They're just starting to get into that health awareness now where they realize, oh, mom said I should eat better, that it affects my brain health. And they're just starting to get into that. My youngest adores avocado. She's trying to not eat any kind of meat. So aside from fish, we all go through that at some point or another. Okay. So you've got your shredded cabbage here, however piece size you want. Okay. Doesn't matter how small, doesn't matter how big. You're going to take this and you're going to take some kosher salt and you are literally going to douse it and then blend it. Make sure you get all of that salt on everything. Give it a good massage. And get it covered with that salt. And what that salt's going to do is do the preserving for you, do the fermentation for you, and it's also going to take out all of the moisture from your cabbage. And that's where you're going to get your brine from, or your liquid from. Okay. Get the salt off my fingers. And then we're going to put it in our mason jar. Now, with your mason jar, where's my thing? With your mason jar, you're going to need a weight. So you can get these fairly inexpensive. They're just glass weights that you're going to put on top inside your mason jar. And as it ferments and lowers and shrinks, it will put more pressure. Or you can stab it every 1 to 2 hours to get it compacted, and that'll do it as well. Use it this way, that way I don't make too much of a mess, since I already am. And you can put as little or as much in here. You can sauerkraut. However you want to do it. I like doing things fresh and eating fresh out of the fridge. So I'm just going to do one just to kind of start us off. And you can also put seasonings in there, peppercorns, however you want. And then you're going to put your weight in there. And that is just going to sit on there. You're going to cover it up. And that is how it's going to sit on the counter. And that's it. There's no need to refrigerate it. There's no need to do anything. You're just going to let it sit on the counter. All right, as you can see here, this has only been just a few hours and it's already reduced significantly. So I put it in a smaller jar. Of course, my microphone is not working, but I put it in a smaller jar, put the weight back on and put it back on the counter.